Companies force idols to act like they're single forever because apparently their fans...
Yeah, I can't lie. That is where it definitely gets weird. Like, I don't know why you would be so upset about somebody having a boyfriend or girlfriend, bro. Like, dude, they're literally just a performer. Like, I don't, like, this isn't even just in K-pop, bro. YouTubers, a lot of things. Like, people become very, very obsessed with their personal life, and it gets to the point where it's kind of weird. You know what I mean? Like, people are tracking where they're going on a day-to-day. I heard of a story where, like, a K-pop idol was trying to ride a plane, and somebody was tracking the plane they were on so that they could potentially like sit next to it. Just some weird shit. It's just wild shit, bro. Alright, K-pop is its own enemy. Let's see what we got here.
There was a time when people couldn't get enough of K-pop. It felt like the genre was on track to become the biggest global phenomenon. Fans are starting to agree that K-pop is in shambles. The talent is still there, but something feels off. It doesn't feel authentic anymore. And no, I'm not talking about the usual fan wars or another idol getting cancelled for breathing wrong. I'm talking about...
Facts! Yo, I swear K-pop idols can't do shit, bro. I swear. They will get assassinated if they just have a boyfriend. They will literally be targeted and wanted for... You think they're wanted for murder, bro. You think they're wanted for, like, possession of drugs, like, you know, like some crazy shit, like they have access to missile codes. No, they just... literally have a boyfriend or they're talking to someone. It's crazy, truly crazy.
Actual fan wars or another idol getting cancelled for breathing wrong. I'm talking about actual chaos. Scandals upon scandals, music quality hitting rock
scandals,
bottom,
dude.
Fan culture becoming more toxic than ever, and an
oh my
industry
god, is
so
it actually that bad?
Profit,
dude, I'm not gonna lie, I'm new to the K-pop fandom, and I haven't heard a lot from the negative side of things. You know, I've had a few people in my reactions be like, "You have a bad reaction." I've heard some niggas like that, but for the most part, very positive. Is there like a really negative, like toxic side of the K-pop like fandom? The parasocial relationships can be pretty crazy. Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, I'd imagine.
Completely lost sight of what made K-pop special in the first place. Remember when K-pop felt fresh? When groups had their own sound? When you could actually tell which song belonged to which group? Yeah, those days are gone. Because now...
he's saying, I feel like they've been pretty unique. Like, I understand if he wants to criticize like the culture around K-pop or like the fans, but I feel like if you're criticizing the music, like I've heard really different sounding K-pop music, especially like Twice, Blackpink, Jennie. A lot of their stuff sounds very different. There's like the core concept is the same, you know, the whole dancing part and then like the solo singing part, but the sound is very different. Like if you guys even just look at my last video, I was just like rating how different they were and comparing, contrasting them. They're not like the same thing like this guy's claiming.
Every group sounds the same. Scandals happen every other week.
I don't think every group sounds the same, I'm not gonna lie.
Squeezing fans dry. So, what went wrong? K-pop used to be experimental. It had variety. You could hear the difference between a Big Bang song and a Shiny song in 2 seconds.
Big Bang song, Shiny song. I feel these are K-pop terms that I don't know about yet, but like for the most part, from what I've seen personally from K-pop, I feel like they're pretty like they're relatively unique. It's not like every single song is just the same song. That's what I get from it.
I hear the difference between a BTS song and EXO song. Now, if I played you 5 random K-pop songs from different groups, you wouldn't even know who sang what.
Yeah, like, what is he talking about, dude? Like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Maybe he just listened to more K-pop, but like, for example, even this song right here, Jennie Mantra, my reaction is literally up on the channel. And bro, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Like, that song sounded unique. This, that pretty good mantra. That was a unique ass song. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like he's being way too critical. Like, I understand like the music video side of things where it all devolves into a dance, but I don't know. That's just a weird thing to criticize if you ask me.
Hip-hop songs from different groups, you wouldn't even know who sang what. The industry has fallen into a cycle of playing it safe, prioritizing catchy, formulaic beats over true artistic innovation. Labels care more about following trends than setting them, leading to a wave of generic songs that blend into each other. What used to be a diverse genre full of surprises has now been reduced to predictable beats, copy-paste melodies,
and he's being way too critical right now.
TikTok. Blame it on the industry's obsession with TikTok trends.
And the thing is too, it's like, bro, you need to understand, like, this is just him venting his personal struggles with K-pop. You need to understand that if there's a supply, there's usually a demand. Like, if people are constantly coming back, constantly clicking and clicking, I want to see this song, they're blowing up, getting tens of millions of views. People are showing up, filling out their arenas when they do shows. I mean, chances are that's for a reason, right? Like, this guy is talking as though he is like the facial representative of every K-pop fan.
Companies don't make songs anymore. They make sounds designed to go viral for 15 seconds. Songs are literally being crafted with dance challenges in mind rather than musical quality.
Maybe I just don't have enough perspective,
music that
honestly.
feels disposable. Something to stream for a week before moving on to the next trend. Remember when K-pop had bridge sections? When the production was insane? When choruses were built up to feel like an actual...
I mean, he's saying when the production was insane, but do y'all remember the Zen music video? Bro, the music video for Jennie's song, Zen. Bro, if you want to talk about production... Bro, hold on, let me put this shit up on the screen real quick. Look at this, look at this. This is like Marvel level budget. You see what I mean? I don't know if I just have a lack of perspective, because you see, that's the problem. I don't want to be the person that just comes in from an ignorant angle and is like, oh, you know, well, I only know 2 K-pop bands, but fuck it, I'm a K-pop connoisseur now. But at the end of the day, it's like every K-pop song I've heard so far has been pretty unique or pretty like entertaining. Let me know in the comments, is K-pop really oversaturated with the same type of music, or is it like actually unique?
Now it's just verse, pre-chorus, drop. No storytelling. No emotional payoff. Just the same recycled formula over and over again. And the auto-tune? Oh, buddy. Some idols sound like...
You're complaining about Autotune? Nigga, you've never heard Western music, bro. Nigga. You're complaining about Autotune, broski. Have you ever heard Ken Carson? Have you ever heard Lil Uzi Vert? Have you ever heard, not even just rappers, dude, like a lot of our singers, bro, like, this nigga's way too critical, bro, way too critical. And if people are listening, then it's for a reason, dude. It's for, like, I don't want to flame the guy. I mean, he's free and he's entitled to have his opinion, right? I just think it's hypercritical.
Replaced by over-processed, pitch-corrected performances that make every song feel robotic.
I mean, you could criticize that, but how many artists are performing their songs live and dancing while doing it? You know what I mean? It's like, okay, if they're slightly adjusting their voice with some sort of like voice module in a live performance in front of tens of thousands of people, bro, while singing and dancing, they're not like dancing to pre-recorded music. Like they're literally singing while moving their body and dancing. I feel like it's pretty reasonable for them to, you know, slightly modify it to at least match production to some extent. Autotune is everywhere. This is such a non-issue. Exactly. Yeah. I don't know about this one.
The industry no longer focuses on vocal excellence, just what sounds good enough to be consumed quickly. Let's be real, if you blurred out the members of half these 4th gen groups, you wouldn't be able to tell them apart. The same AI-generated visuals...
Hold on, what do you even mean by that? Now it's starting to sound a little racist, bro. I don't know, bro. I'm not quick to throw out the racism allegation, but what do you mean by that? He's literally saying, oh yeah, you know, now they all just look the same. Look at the picture he used, bro. That's a little suspicious, bro. I mean, yeah, they're Asian, bro, but they have facial differences. What are we talking about, man? Like what are we getting into, bro? I don't know about this one. I don't know about this one, Chief.
You wouldn't be able to tell them apart. The same AI-generated visuals, the same perfect styling,
That's not AI.
and the same vocal tone. Everything feels like it came out of the same factory, with no room for individuality. Groups used to have distinct concepts and unique sounds.
That's not that CGI. That's what I'm saying. That's CGI.
All just the same recycled formula with different faces.
Okay, like this guy's made the same point over and over. I don't want to be too harsh on him because I'm a new K-pop fan, so I'm not going to come out here like fighting tooth and nail for something I don't really know that well about. But I feel like he's just like mad at K-pop. Does he just not? If you don't like K-pop, that's fine, bro. like you don't have to like something, bro, but don't bash the industry and everybody that likes it because you don't like it. You know what I mean?
Gone are the days when a group could have a signature sound. Instead, labels are
bro, hey, Blackpink has a crazy sound. We just finished recording that Jump song, the Jump reaction the other day. That's a relatively recent Blackpink song, and when I tell you that shit, woo! So, hey, man, hey, I don't know, bro. I don't know about this one.
To experiment, forcing idols into a mold that prioritizes marketability over authenticity. The industry is terrified of taking risks. Labels don't want an idol to stand out too much because that might disrupt the group's perfect balance or make them harder to market. Instead of nurturing individuality,
I could see how that's possible.
They create manufactured clones.
I could see how that's possible where it's like they don't want to experiment with like new shit. You know what I mean? Like they don't want to come out with like groups with more personalities, like maybe somebody who's more of like an edgy type of person, or maybe somebody who's more of like I don't know. I could kind of see how that would play out where it's like the group kind of creates cookie cutter personalities and they're, I guess, a little scared to experiment. But I don't know if that's because the groups are scared or if it's more just because they're just doing what works, right? Like if there's a market that demands something and that demand is being rewarded, typically people just continue ability to supply that. So I don't think that has anything to do with K-pop as an industry. It's more about the fans really and what they like.
Idols who fit a strict mold, designed not to push creative boundaries, but to maximize profit. This results in groups that feel more like commercial brands than actual artists. Every concept, every outfit, and every song is meticulously crafted to be safe and digestible, ensuring no one deviates too much from the formula. And what's the result? A K-pop landscape that feels increasingly stale and uninspired. Fans aren't blind to this, they crave uniqueness, but companies keep serving the same aesthetic, the same choreography, and the same generic
Trying to sound smart, head up. Listen, I don't want to diss the guy. Look, don't diss the guy, right? He's just making a video. He's talking about, you know what I'm saying? He's talking about how he feels about it. He's expressing his thoughts. He's allowed to do that.
The lack of risk-taking is making K-pop boring. And if the industry doesn't start embracing individuality again,
the lack
fans
of
might start
risk-taking
looking elsewhere for excitement. Groups aren't encouraged to explore
here's
their
the thing though,
unique
if fans were actually leaving in such large tropes and this was actually a problem to the point where it was actually getting boring and people were actually uninterested in K-pop, the fandom would just die out, right? And then the company would notice this and be like, okay, we need to change something. But if it's not dying out, that means the demand is still there, which means it's you, nigga. You're the one who doesn't like it. And that's okay. You're free to not like it. But bro, there's a demand. Like, people like it. You guys can kind of see it. You can see it here. Like, look how many people are in this crowd, bro. Like, clearly there's a demand, bro. Clearly.
The industry prioritizes what sells over what's artistically fulfilling. And in doing so, they're slowly killing the magic that made K-pop so exciting in the first place. K-pop always had a weird obsession with controlling idols' personal lives. But it's worse than ever. Companies force idols to act like they're single forever because apparently their fans...
Yeah, I can't lie. That is where it definitely gets weird. Like, I don't know why you would be so upset about somebody having a boyfriend or girlfriend, bro. Like, dude, they're literally just a performer. Like, I think it's a problem too. Like, this isn't even just in K-pop, bro. YouTubers, a lot of things. Like, people become very, very obsessed with their personal life, and it gets to the point where it's kind of weird. You know what I mean? Like, people are tracking where they're going on a day-to-day. I heard of a story where like a K-pop idol was trying to ride a plane and somebody was tracking the plane they were on so that they could potentially like sit next to it. Just some weird shit. It's just wild shit, bro. Dude, like, just let them date whoever they want. Like, it's really not that deep.
Will have an emotional breakdown if they find out their oppa or ani is dating. And let's talk about
Oppa, ani, what does that mean?
K-pop fans are spending thousands of dollars just...
It's another K-pop term I've never heard of before.
...to collect photo cards. Literal pieces of cardboard. Streaming is no longer about enjoying music. It's
what's wrong with that? Hold on. What did he say?
K-pop fans are spending thousands of dollars just to collect photo cards.
Goddamn! Goddamn! But hey, real talk, that is kind of wild. Thousands of dollars for some collectibles. That's kind of wild. That's kind of some creepy shit. But look, if the cards themselves are priced at like, what, $10 a card, $30 max for like a little pack, that's not that wild, right? For somebody to have a hobby of collecting them. I think it does kind of get, you're kind of a little too obsessed when you get to the thousands of dollars. But I mean, look, that's just people spending their money on what they like. Like, you're allowed to do that. If we're going to criticize people for having cards for like K-pop stars, then we're going to criticize people that do like anime collectibles too, right? What if somebody's just really passionate about animes, have a big ass shelf with like thousands of dollars worth of figures? Are we going to criticize them and say like, oh, this guy's weird for like, that's just your hobby, dude. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. One moment he's complaining about people getting bored of K-pop, then he immediately switches to, anyways, here's some fans willing to drop thousands on official merch. Ooh, that's a good point. That's a good point. One moment you're complaining saying, oh yeah, it's getting very stale, yada, yada, yada. And then on the other hand, you're like, they're spending thousands. Why are they spending thousands on? It's like, bro, come on, man. Come on, man. Lock in, bro. Lock in, bro.
Literal pieces of cardboard. Streaming is no longer...
Literal pieces of cardboard. I mean, dude, you could summarize anything to that, bro. Like, bro, that's like saying Pokemon cards are like cardboard. Like, yeah, okay, sure, but there's $1,000 Pokemon cards. There's $1,000 Pokemon cards, and there's nothing wrong with that, dude. Some people just love Pokemon. They grew up on Pokemon, and they want to collect Pokemon. There's nothing wrong with that, dude.
Enjoying music, it's a full-time job. Fans set alarms, organize streaming parties, and dedicate hours.
It's a hobby, dude. Like, it's a hobby.
Tops the charts. If you don't stream 24/7, you're not a real fan. And when idols do...
Okay, if people are moving like that, that is crazy. Like, if you literally have to meet a quota... I go, that's kind of funny. Imagine like somebody comes up to you like, have you listened to your mandatory Blackpink hours this month? That's wild. That is what I can't even lie. That is... Imagine, bro, if a head ass nigga pulled up on me on some, hey, you need to meet your quota or you're not a real fan. Bitch! Say that again! Say it! I dare you! Like, what are you talking about, bro? No, real talk, what are you talking about?
Death threats, boycotts. I can't believe they betrayed us. What betrayal? You don't know them. Some fans even go as far as demanding public apologies, forcing idols to write handwritten letters as if they've committed a crime. This level of obsession has turned
That is the biggest problem. I'm not gonna lie. The niggas in the K-pop community that are so obsessed with like every little detail of their life, bro, you need to get a life, bro. I'm gonna keep it real, bro. You need to go get some new hobbies. You need to go meet some friends. Go touch some grass. You know what I'm saying? You know, like go do something, bro. Go hiking. Try out sports. Try baking. Baking's pretty fun. You know, like do something, bro. You're way too obsessed. If it gets to that point, okay, that's where I agree. We can draw the line. But I feel like the majority of people that are like that, it's a loud minority. Because look, whenever I touch and I start making content on a certain like fandom, the comments and the reply and like the response I get from that fandom usually tells me how that fandom is. It's the same with K-pop. Like I've had many positive interactions with the K-pop community, and there have been a few weird people in the comments that are like, oh my God, I want to be her. Okay, that's when we draw the line. Straight up, that's when we draw the line. But for the most part, pretty chill. You know, like a chill fandom. They're happy to be able to share this with other people.
Idols are treated like characters in a fantasy world.
Yeah, that's definitely weird.
Forever available to their fans. But let's be honest, it's getting out of control. The industry feeds into this parasocial relationship because it profits from fan loyalty. But at what cost?
That's
Idols
also
live
weird
in
if the
fear of
industry's
normal
doing that.
human experiences, and fans lose touch with reality. At some point, K-pop fans need to ask themselves, are we supporting idols or are we suffocating them? How many apology letters have you seen in the past year? How many idols have been cancelled over something ridiculous? At this point, there's a scandal every other week, and it's exhausting to keep up with. Some scandals are serious. Issues like bullying allegations, company mistreatment, and idol exploitation deserve attention. But others? Completely blown out of proportion. An idol says...
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, dude. A lot of the fucking weird, like, they got so many scandals, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like it's the same with VTubing. I feel like the VTubing community also has like a weird kind of like cultish almost audience. There's definitely that subsection of the audience. I feel like K-pop is similar to that, where it's like there's a lot of people that are on some weird shit, but the grand majority are just normal people that like the thing. All right, let's continue.
One slightly wrong word in an interview, and suddenly their entire career is at risk. They're forced to issue a public apology, bow in front of cameras, and sometimes even take an indefinite hiatus over minor misunderstandings.
Yeah, that's definitely wild.
And let's talk about how companies
They're way too strict on their K-pop idols.
One day, they completely ignore a controversy, hoping it will fade away. The next day, they're making idols write handwritten apology letters in 5 different languages, trying to please every single audience.
Now, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I ain't gonna lie. If a head-ass manager pulls up to me on some, oh, you better write an apology. Well, what, nigga? The fuck? Bro, I'm just sitting here. I'm singing, bro. I'm having a good ass time. I'm dancing, making some good ass content for my audience, and you know they like it. They mess with it. The real fans mess with it, bro. What do you mean I gotta write an apology because Daryl, the nigga with Cheeto dust on his pants, who hasn't left his house in 6 months? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care about his opinion, bro. What? You know what these companies need to do? They need to stop pandering, bro. Stop pandering to the head ass niggas that are like 10% of your not even 10. That's a wild amount. 10, not even 10, like, bro, these are probably realistically like maximum 2% of the grand K-pop audience. They're just loud as fuck, and they're so weird that they take the spotlight. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the anime community, bro. In anime, there are those niggas that are like, oh, I'm from Japan. I wish I lived in Japan. What's your waifu? Yes, there's niggas like that. That's true, but the majority of anime fans are just people that, you know, watch like Attack on Titan, they watch like Code Geass, and they just like anime. And there's nothing wrong with that, dude. Like, dude, watch what you like, enjoy what you like, and just be a normal consumer. But I feel like companies pandering too much to these people is kind of OD, bro. Like, chill out. Like, chill out, bro. It is not that deep.
At this point, it feels like being a K-pop idol is walking on eggshells. They can't express personal opinions,
not for sure,
freely, or even make simple mistakes without triggering a massive backlash. And with scandals happening so frequently, it's hard to tell what's actually serious and what's just another case of overblown internet outrage. Let's be real, the industry sees fans as walking ATMs. You're not a supporter, you're a customer. Every move the companies make is designed to extract as much money from fans as possible. Not just a little, but ridiculously expensive. Sometimes with multiple versions, forcing fans to buy several copies just to collect all the photo cards. Comebacks?
I mean, dude, let's be for real, dude. If there's a high demand for something, then pricing it higher that's just basic, like, business. Like, how expensive is he talking? Because, I mean, as long as it's within a marketable, like, reasonable price. You know, what the fuck is that shit called? Labubu? How much is a Labubu? Actually, I don't even know. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. $300! I take it back, y'all. I ain't gonna hold y'all. Hey, who's buying that? Well, if people are buying it, then shit, I mean, people are buying it, bro.
Instead of focusing on quality music, labels push groups into back-to-back releases just to keep the hype cycle going. Concert tickets? Insanely expensive. Prices keep going.
Okay, $100 for a concert ticket. Do you guys think that's too expensive? Average celebrity concert ticket. Yeah, that's not that crazy. He's talking about $100 for a concert ticket. Like, that's a lot. Dude, look at this. The average nigga, lock in so you can read this shit. What the fuck? The average celebrity concert ticket price depends heavily on the artist, venue, and seating. But for top tours, the average price for a 2024 Top 100 tour was $135. $135 to go and, like, experience your favorite artist alongside, like, a whole bunch of their fans, potentially make new friends, have a lifelong, like, memory. I think that's pretty reasonable, right? I don't think that's that crazy.
Going up, and VIP sections are basically reserved for those who can drop thousands of dollars. Groups don't even get time to rest, because companies milk them dry before moving on to the next big thing. The moment a group loses momentum, they are discarded, and a fresh batch of trainees is rolled out. Idols become disposable commodities rather than artists with careers meant to last decades. And don't get me started on luxury brand deals. At this point, some idols are more models than musicians. Instead of honing their craft, many idols are funneled into brand endorsements, appearing in fashion shows, and promoting expensive handbags.
Bro. Like, I mean, I understand he has a valid criticism when he says, like, the companies don't really allow them much time to rest. They don't really treat them like humans, but more like products. That I understand, but I don't understand criticizing the fact that they work with brands and expensive brands. Like, what's the problem with that? This guy's criticisms are very weird. They're not, like, well thought out. Either this is like an AI generated script, or like he just kind of raw dogged the video. Like, he just turned on his camera and started yapping. The voice is for sure AI. You think he's AI? Let me listen.
Making money. It's clear that for some companies, the focus has shifted away from music.
I don't know. I feel like that could pass as human. I actually don't know. Yo, are we this cooked? Are we this cooked where we can't tell if a nigga's AI or human? Oh my god, his cadence is off. I don't know. Like, I feel like he kind of sounds human.
Fans are getting fed up. They're tired.
It's like monotone and boring. Yeah, but maybe he's just a monotonous, boring ass nigga. But I don't know.
Tired of being treated like an unlimited money supply, and many are starting to question whether supporting the industry is even worth it anymore. K-pop used to have a strong grip on teenagers and young adults, but those fans are growing up and moving on. Many people who got into K-pop...
I feel like a big part of this video is just himself projecting his personal experience with K-pop onto the larger, like, community. I feel like that's what he's doing, because he keeps saying, like, he'll just randomly say something like, a lot of people are moving on and doing other shit. Well, yeah, but the majority are staying. You know what I mean? You know what that's like saying? Let me think. What is that like saying? Okay, let's say there's a lot of Star Wars fans, right? And like a new Star Wars movie comes out, right? And now all of these fans are saying, oh, this is a really... Yeah, let's say 2% of the fandom is like, this last Star Wars movie was really bad. Now, that's still a lot of people because of the fact that Star Wars is huge. So 2% proportionally, right? So compared to the entirety of the actual Star Wars fandom, 2% is pretty negligible. That's not many people. But when you just look at it as the standalone group, the 2% alone, if you just look at them as a group, yeah, it's a lot of people because Star Wars is huge. So when he says something like, oh yeah, a lot of people leave K-pop, well, yeah, a lot of people end up losing interest. But what percentage of K-pop fans end up losing interest? Because I guarantee you, if it was anything over like 10%, the companies would lock the fuck in and start giving them the people what they actually want. So all this shit he's complaining about, oh, creativity, da-da-da-da-da, at the end of the day, they're gonna do what makes money.
And their priorities have shifted. Life responsibilities, changing musical tastes, and even disillusionment with the industry are causing many long-time fans to step away from the genre. Unlike Western music industries that evolve with their audience, K-pop remains stuck marketing itself almost exclusively to young teens. Companies continue pushing bubbly, high-energy concepts and heavily manufactured.
But you know what? That's
idol
like
personas.
that's like getting mad at a cartoon company because they continue to make kids shows.
Fans jump from one viral moment to the next, leading to shorter fan
There's
cycles.
nothing wrong with that.
Meanwhile,
though.
older fans who once felt a strong emotional connection to idols are starting to feel alienated.
All the
industry
fans,
still
I swear,
expects
this
them
guy,
to-
like he just randomly throws out like all the fans, bro. It's such like a. Do you have anything to refer to? Because if it truly was all the fans that felt disconnected, K-pop would die. But it doesn't die; it just grows.
Behave like obsessive teenagers, but at a certain point, life moves on. Now, there are so many debuts happening every month, it's impossible to keep track. The problem isn't just the number of groups, it's that most of them aren't bringing anything new to the table. Too many groups are being formed not out of passion or artistic vision, but because companies want a piece of the profit pie. Every entertainment agency wants to debut the next big thing, hoping to ride the wave of K-pop's global success. But in reality, only a handful of groups
Yeah,
actually
I'm not
break
gonna lie.
into
I feel like this guy's getting repetitive at this point. I feel like we got to the root of his argument. Essentially, he thinks that it's way too oversaturated with the same type of content, and he doesn't like the marketing side of K-pop. He doesn't like the fact that brands can make money off of the same formula. But I mean, dude, like, it is what it is. Bro, that's how this world functions, bro. That's how the economy functions, bro. That's just how free markets operate, bro. If there's a demand for something, then it's gonna be fulfilled, and people aren't gonna change and randomly like stop supplying that because you as an individual don't like that. That's not how this shit works, man.
I'm throwing cash, watch it go down to the floor.